So let's address this comment right here. This gentleman who says that based on the look of me, there's not much time left for me. I've been told shit like this for the longest time. Prior to getting on this app, I was heavily involved in political conversations on the Book of Faces, specifically in my local community pages. I live in a very conservative area and would get into debates with locals all the time about politics and policy issues and whatnot, what have you. And because I live in a conservative area, as you can imagine, people didn't particularly care for what I had to say. And when they couldn't argue the point, when they couldn't come up with a valid comeback for something that I had to say about a specific policy issue or bill or social stance, they would go to attacks somewhat similar to this. There were two gentlemen in particular that used to tell me all the time how I was a fat fuck that was going to drop dead of a heart attack. We'd be in the middle of talking about tax policy or foreign affairs, and you could tell when they lost the ability to converse like an adult, because that's where we would go to. And at least 3 or 4 times a week I would be told by these gentlemen how I was going to drop dead of a heart attack. One of them used to live right behind me. His name was John. Now, he was an older gentleman, but he took good care of himself. He was seemingly very healthy. He watched what he put into his body. He was very cognitive aware. He was very aware of the types of things that he would put into his body to make sure he was putting things into his body that were organic, that were wholesome for him. The other gentleman was actually in his early 30s, was extraordinarily physically fit, and was a local wrestling coach. Reminded me a lot of you, needing to show people just how fit he really is. Just living in the gym, showing everybody his body. Look, I'm physically fit, you're not, yada, 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 right? The thing is, a few years ago, both of those gentlemen dropped dead of heart attacks within weeks of each other. Now, the gentleman that lived behind me, as I said, he was slightly older, but people were still somewhat surprised. The guy was very healthy. He watched what he ate. He was very active. The other gentleman, people were stunned by. Early 30s, extraordinarily physically fit. Like I said, a wrestling coach here in town. What could have possibly happened that would have led to this? That hatred that guys like you carry around in your heart. That's what it was. That's what did him in. All the physical fitness in the world doesn't mean jack shit if you allow your heart to be eroded by hatred, which is evident by this comment. So while you say that there's not much time left for me, I'd be willing to bet good money you're gone from this earth before I am.